Hi guys, this is Mo Volans for Audiotuts.com, back with another video tutorial. My wrist is still slightly broken, so I'm doing more video than text. So that's why you've seen a lot of video from me recently. We're going to be taking a look at a technique that I used recently in a jazz recording session, actually a jazz mixdown session of a basic live recording. So you can see here we're in Logic. And there's around 9 audio tracks, I guess. Some simple overheads, a kick and a snare, a bass mic, a horn, sax mic, and a piano. Now you can see there's actually 3 piano tracks, and I'll explain why in a minute, because what we're looking at is turning a mono recording or a mono instrument into something stereo. Now there's loads of ways to do this, and I'm sure that loads of you will have alternatives that you've used, but this is one way. So if you've never tried it before and you're looking to create a stereo image out of a mono track without the use of loads of sort of fake stereo enhancement plugins and stuff, this is a really sort of traditional way of doing it. It's essentially sort of fake double tracking or virtual double tracking, and it can produce a pretty controlled and quite nice subtle stereo image out of a mono recording. So what I'm going to do is play you some of the track and show you the piano in question in action, and you can hear the stereo image. I'll solo it as well as you hearing it in the track, and then I'm going to strip it down back to the mono, and I'm going to repeat what I did so you can see exactly how this is created. Now you can do this with any instrument. You can do it with vocals, you can do it with guitar, literally anything that's mono that you want to expand. But first up, let's have a quick listen. Now that's the piano soloed. And you can see the groups that I've used here are going through, the single tracks are going through a group, and then it's being fed into an EQ just to take some bottom end off it. And this is a lot of UAD processing going on here. A Fairchild compressor just to make sure it's all reasonably even. One of my favourite EQs currently, the Plugin Alliance Mag, which has got a nice air strip on it, air gain, which allows you to add some really high frequencies, which is nice in recordings like this, which maybe lacked a little in the first place. And then finally, an Oxford limiter, just to sort of make sure that it's not going over and to get as much volume out of it as possible. But it's not really the plugins we're looking at. I mean, that's what I would have put on the mono piano. So it's, not really changed. And we've also got some Lexicon reverb and UAD Roland Dimension D, which everything's being sent to. And just to let you know as well, the group down here, let me just open up the automation, is being ridden in this area just to make sure that it's not, pushing the compressor too hard and it's sort of uniform. You can see the louder sections generally are brought down in level. But that's everything you need to know apart from the actual technique. So I just wanted to cover how it's being processed. But if you listen to the mono piano, that was the original recording. And let's even take the effects off. And my mastering processors are on here. There's just a load of tape and my usual mastering chain. So but you can get the idea. It's very, very mono. And I was like, this needs to be opened up a bit. And even with all the, the dynamics processing on, it just wasn't cutting it for me. And in the mix, you know, it works, obviously, you know, really well played and everything, but I felt it just needed the bigger stereo image. So let's hear it now with the stereo in. So you can see the stereo information is being mixed with the mono, and then the mono can be panned around wherever. Now, how did I go about making it stereo? Well, what I'm going to do is recreate exactly what I did. And let me just not draw some extra automation in. I'm going to copy some audio tracks. And you'll really need 3 audio tracks for this. I mean, you can just use 2. But you can see what I'm doing. I've just made 3 fresh audio tracks here, and I've copied the piano 3 times. And let's just solo these. And what we need to do then is take these 3 tracks, and we need to send them into their own group. So I'm going to go to bus here, and bus 6 is the next free group. So this is all being grouped. Now, if I play this back, obviously we're just going to have a mono piano, because it's the same thing perfectly in phase playing 3 times. I mean, it's just louder. That's all you're going to get here. You might even get some phase cancellation, but really nothing special is happening. So what we want to do is the 3rd track is going to be our mono track. So we're going to mix that down for the 2nd. And these 2 tracks here, 10 and 11, are going to be our pseudo stereo double tracked tracks. So we need to go to one of them, and we need to put some delay onto these tracks. In fact, they were already delayed because I copied a delayed track. But you want them; they'll be on 0 by default. Obviously, this changes from DAW to DAW. This isn't a Logic tutorial. This can be achieved in Cubase, in Reason. Pretty much every DAW has delay settings for its tracks. Even Ableton makes it really easy to make delayed tracks in this way. So what you want to do is select the 1st track, and just a subtle amount. So that's minus 190 seconds of a bar there. And this on the next track, you want to go plus. In fact, sorry, the other one was plus, but the opposite way. So you've basically got some delay pushing it and pulling it on the left and right sides. And then we can go to each track and we pan them hard left and right. And this is exactly what you do in a double tracking situation with vocals. You get the singer to record it once, and then again, and you pan one left and one right, and the slight differences in the performance will create a difference in a stereo image. And that's really what you've done here. But because it's just delayed, it's very controlled. So you'll get a sort of a natural chorus effect. So let's listen to that. And if I take out one of them and pan it centrally, you can hear the mono. There's the delayed one, and there's it panned. Now I find that that's great, but it's often a little bit intense and it's a bit wide. So that's why I like to bring in some of the mono information. So we can mix these down a little bit and bring in the mono to taste. There's the mono. It sounds sort of flat in comparison. And it's a really, really simple way of achieving great stereo effects in your instruments, especially in organic acoustic material like this, where you don't really want to over-process sounds, and maybe there's no way you can go back and double-track things or re-record something with stereo mics. This gives you, a definite option for creating stereo images. So hopefully this has been helpful to you, and hopefully you'll be able to use it in your mixes and make things a little wider and a little bit more special. I wouldn't suggest doing it with every instrument, but it's nice to spot treat 1 or 2 instruments in the mix, especially like this, where it's a nice piano recording. So there's a handy tip for you. And later in the month, you can look out for premium content from me on time stretching and more arrangement advice.